All right, how's everybody doing? Excited to have you with me today. We've got a lot of great stuff we're going to be talking about, but it looks like there we go, my camera is not happy again today. So, okay, that should look a little bit better. How is everybody? If you're joining me here live, please use the comments box. Let me know you can hear me loud and clear. Make sure the audio is working. You know how sometimes those things have a tendency to have problems. Today we're going to talk about how to make lots of offers using little earnest money. We're also going to talk about how to just make lots of offers in general. So what you're going to walk away with today is how to only put up earnest money if your offers get accepted, meaning don't put earnest money on every single property. There's a little secret, a little ninja trick I'm going to show you. We're going to talk about how to make offers on homes you have not even yet seen. You haven't even seen the property, how to make offers on it. We're going to talk about how to make multiple offers at one given time. We're going to talk about how many offers you need to make to get an offer acceptance. So we got a lot to go over today. I'm really excited that you're with us. This show's for entertainment purposes only. Before you make any financial moves, consult real estate professional, attorney, CPA, or other professionals who are in the expert subject matters. Everybody's situation is different. There's no one-size-fits-all approach or guarantee to work for all investors. DHA may receive payments, sponsorships from guests in the form of books, giveaways, items, discounts, or other remunerations. As for with anything in life, results come from education. Following a system, hard work, and determination to follow through till the end. Tana, Thomas, I can hear you, but why aren't you on full screen? Good evening, everybody. Tana, you should be able to see me full screen. You should be able to see everything full screen. I'm down here in the corner. I hope that's helpful so you can see my slides. Let me know if that's working. So you should be able to see the presentation and me down in the corner. Hope that's helpful. Good evening, everybody. RPM support. Hey, you got to tell us what your name is. RPM support. Free swag. Today's giveaway. So for last week's giveaway, which we'll be announcing the winner, we're going to be giving away a few things. So this is last week's winner is getting a cool Do Hard Money hat. We've got our stress balls. We also have our 100% financing. We've got a whole bunch of stuff in this, a jumpstart guide. We've got a USB with forms, a DVD, and a manual. All that's going to be coming to you. Mr. Rogers, good evening. How are you? Glad you're on the call with us. So that's coming. This is today's winner is getting this. We've got a DHM Sport water bottle. We've got a stress reliever, and we've got an insulation mug thing. We also have a Do Hard Money shirt. We're sitting a large, so hopefully that fits you great. We've also got a Do Hard Money. I don't know what these hand grippers are called. And we've got a cool little bracelet coming your way as well. So we'll be announcing this winner at the end of the live cast today. We'll be announcing the winner. Now, for next week, this is what we're giving away next week. We've got one of these cool bags. We've given these away before, but we've got a cool Do Hard Money book bag. It's fantastic. We also have another one of the 100% financing systems, and then we're giving away another squishy house, a jump rope. We've got one of those stretchy bands. We've got the insulation. Oh, this is one of my personal favorites. I got a bunch of these around the house. These are, whoops, you can't even see that. There we go. These are the what are these things called? When you get injured, you put these on. You put ice packs. Yeah, that took me a minute. Okay, so that's what we're going to be giving away next week. So that's what you could win this week, and we'll be announcing the winner for last week at the end of the live cast today. So we got a lot of great stuff. Anthony, good evening all. Thanks for being with us, Anthony. Excited for you to be with us. So we'll be announcing that. If you're interested in any of this swag, please put it in the comments here. Let me know. Mr. Rogers, you want this swag? Anthony, do you want this swag? Tana, do you want this swag? Let me know. Let me know if it's something that you guys are interested in. We can get you entered. Now, how can you win the swag? Now, whether you're listening live or you're listening to the recording, you can win the swag. And the way you can do this is by getting positive comments, okay? This can be here in the chat as we're going along, or it can be on the recorded video. We're looking for high interaction, high engagement. I mean, Mr. Rogers, Anthony are off to a great start with one comment, but keep them rolling. I'm going to choose one person. Last week, we had a really great live cast last week. If you missed it, you can find it on YouTube, so go check it out. 25 Things I Wish I Knew Before I Started Real Estate. Do Hard Money is our channel. How to get started without wasting time and money, the strategies that work and the ones that didn't, the most common mistakes and how to avoid them. So let's see here. Mr. Rogers sounds awesome. Fantastic. I'm glad you can hear me loud and clear. Keep them coming. Welcome. If you're joining us live, please give me your first name and the city and state you are investing in. That's really helpful for us. And then we can interact, ask questions. If you're watching this on the recording, our live cast is always Tuesday, 6 p.m. Eastern Time. Make sure you join us live. Okay, Tana's definitely interested in the swag. Always. Fantastic. Okay, welcome. You can ask any questions, and I'll respond on real time. So I want to make sure you get what you need out of this. So as you have questions with the real estate investing and the topics we're talking about, make sure you ask them. Put them in the chat because I will be responding to each and every one of those. So please join us with that. Okay, shout outs. If I get your name wrong, I am super sorry because I like to do a ton of shout outs. Mr. Rogers, Do Hard Monies is head and shoulders above the rest. Hey, thanks, Mr. Rogers. Appreciate it. Ryan McCready from Baltimore. Fantastic, Ryan. Thanks for being with us. Ryan wants the swag bag too. These are some comments from last week. Love the live version. Great content. It looks like coming up. Timely. Fantastic. Another comment from last week, Robert Howard. I see you said that you would need a W-2 job for the refinancing of property, but say you haven't had one over a year, self-employed, full-time wholesale investor. Would this be a problem? No, I mean, here's the deal. You typically have to have a W-2 job, but if you have business ownership for over 2 years and established track record, most lenders will allow you to do that as well. Keep in mind, when you're doing that type of takeout financing, it's not something that a hard money lender is actually funding for you. It's a takeout financer. So Wells Fargo, Bank of America, a mortgage broker, that type of stuff that's going to be doing that financing. So Robert, if you're on the call today, please put some comments in. I hope that answers your question, but thanks for the comments on that recorded video. Let's see here. Tana, by the way, Mr. Thomas Daniels will be fine. Oh, perfect. Mr. Thomas Daniels. I like it. Let's keep it coming. If you like these live casts and you want to see them continue, I really need your help, okay? We are currently at 4,230 subscribers. My goal is by the end of September to be to 4,275. I have 45. We're looking for 45 new people that want to be part of the community, part of our subscriber base, want to be doing stuff with real estate investing. So if you are currently not a subscriber, please go do that. I also upload videos daily. So I'm doing videos daily. They're short little clips. They're under 5 minutes, sometimes 2 or 3 minutes with specific topics that we go over. So please hit the thumbs up as you see these videos get posted. Hit the subscribe button if you're not already. And if you're a new subscriber, make sure you put your name in the chat as well. And then if you hit the bell notification, it'll let you know as we go live and as new videos are released as well. And our YouTube channel is Do Hard Money, DOHRDMONEY.com. Or actually just the Do Hard Money. Leave a comment on the recorded video. This is really helpful for us as we're growing the channel. And please tell someone else about it. So let us know if you're willing to help with some of these. Do I have any new subscribers? If you're currently not a subscriber and you go subscribe right now, please put it in the chat. Let me know. I want to celebrate with you. Okay, so next section we're going to kind of get into is just a little bit of a real estate market update. Realtor.com is reporting the monthly jobs homes report showed that businesses continue to hire and the unemployment rate dipped. So we're still seeing this continue to go down on unemployment, which is great news. As a result, additional government hiring for the census jobs were added in the retail, trade, professional services sector, leisure, hospitality, education services. So we're seeing more jobs coming to the marketplace, which I'm really excited about. Oh, nice. We got a new subscriber, Ryan from Baltimore, Maryland. Thanks for being our newest subscriber. Really appreciate it. I know you're going to get value out of it. The most recent weekly jobless claims indicated improved to lowest point post-pandemic level. So we're at the lowest unemployment that we've had thus far post-pandemic. Buyer traffic on Realtor.com is outpacing the record levels we saw earlier this year, suggesting that demand will likely continue to exceed the number of homes available. See, these people need you. They need you to go find these properties, fix them up so they can buy them because there's not enough inventory on the market right now. It will help. The latest data for orders of durable goods like electronics, cars, housing, appliances showed the third consecutive month of increasing in July, owing to strong sales of cars and autos. Looking at more recent data, Realtor.com's Housing Recovery Index rose for the sixth. This is the recovery index for the sixth straight consecutive weeks. It's a new high for 2020. The main challenge is sellers. There's just not enough out there. There's just not enough supply is the problem we're running into. Our weekly inventory data shows that both inventory and new listings dropped, driving prices over 10% higher compared to last year. Fox Business says buyers outnumber sellers in the housing market, which means it's better to be a seller than to be a buyer right now. Okay, the COVID-19 pandemic hasn't slowed down real estate one bit. In fact, it may even be even hotter. And right now, the current home inventory can't keep up with the demand. We're seeing the same thing here, guys. There's just not enough inventory. That's the biggest concern that's happening right now. The current state of the housing market isn't expected to change anytime soon. It's in part due to many buyers thinking that the market wouldn't be as friendly as it is right now. The National Association of Realtors said sales of existing homes in the United States jumped 25%, which is amazing. Okay, another bright spot, overall housing activity has returned to January pre-pandemic levels, and it just continues to improve. Mike Barnes asking, I just want to get $5,000 for 7 months to purchase a house. Can you help? That's a great loaded question. Probably not. When you're dealing with those lower dollar amounts, it just doesn't make a lot of sense. There's not enough that a lender can charge to be profitable, especially when you deal with lending costs and that type of stuff. So, I mean, for us, we don't have a minimum loan amount, but the ARV has to be over $70,000. We don't do second mortgages, some of that type of stuff. If you need something like that, I think you've got to find a private individual that has the money, a friend, a family member. The other thing, Mike Barnes or T. Mike Barnes, you may want to look at credit card financing. What is your credit like? If your credit's decent, you could get some credit card financing that could help with that. You could use a 401k or get a 401k loan. I don't know. There's a lot of solutions. It's going to really depend on your individual circumstances. Hope that helps, but hit me up again with some more specifics and I can give you some more answers. Compared to home shoppers this spring, those in the market right now are more willing to commute further and more likely to want a move-in ready property. Fortune says over the past decade, U.S. homeowners saw their cumulative home equity climb $6 trillion. That's massive gains. It's larger than the GDP of every single nation with the exception of the United States and China, confirming that real estate is still a winning strategy for wealth building, according to Fortune. Hey, Mike, if you've got decent credit, it may be worth looking at that credit card financing. You've got to be over about 680 is probably what you're looking at. I don't know what your credit's like, but I hope it's helpful. So $5,000 is not enough for a loan for $200 money. Yeah, Mr. Rogers is right. But some credit card financing might be a way to go. We could make a referral on that. I'm wondering why I haven't landed my first deal now. I know I need to submit more offers. I'm listening right now. Ryan, I don't know if you're a member. We're going to be doing an offers challenge next month for our members. If you are, you're going to want to get involved with that. It's for the month of October, and we're doing an offers challenge. We've got some prizes, so you're going to want to register for that. We're going to talk about it, I think, here at the end. But the other thing is, if you are a member, we have a calculator that will tell you how many offers you need to make to end up on average with a deal. And it's usually about 25, give or take, offers that you need to make before you'll end up with a deal. But it depends. If you're doing off-market properties, it's less. If you're doing MLS properties, it's more. If you're going after targeted lists, it's less. If you're not, it's more. So there's a calculator that does all the math for you, so you know how many offers you need to make, but typically around 25. So Ryan, I'm wondering how many offers you've actually made. And were you making offers to people who could actually accept them, which actually is going to be something we're going to be talking about next. We're going to be talking about next week. So I think it's going to be helpful. I'm all in for the offers challenge. Yeah, Mr. Rogers, let's do it. It is a numbers game. I totally agree. Powell says they're not even thinking about raising the interest rates. The Fed suggests the worst of this crisis is over, which is great news. Let's RMTP made 4 offers. Yeah, make 25, and I think you'll see one. Marie Smith, welcome. Glad to have you with us today. I plan on about 25, but if they're off market, and some of the strategies I'm talking about today will help you, but I'm planning on doing some stuff next week that will help you even more. So Ryan, you're going to want to make sure, I think you're one of our newest subscribers, you said. You're going to make sure you hit us up next week because that'll be really, really helpful. COVID-19 update. And here's the cool thing, guys, about making that many offers. Most people give up after their first or second offer, and the gold is to be had with the guy that stays in the arena. And so it's almost like this cool thing where to break into it, you've got to be willing to give it enough diligence and some sweat and tears and blood. And then once you do, it becomes easier each time. And so it's kind of keeps the wimps out of the game and then the people that are serious about it. So make a ton of offers, make the right offers, follow through, and use that offer calculator can be really helpful. So what's up, Maurice? All right, I love this. Welcome to the winning team, Maurice. I love it. Mr. Rogers, your enthusiasm is incredible. Okay, United States hospital resources. We're seeing things kind of mildly come up and come down here with COVID. Chris G, hospital beds in Illinois is 14,000. They're using 825. In Minnesota, 4,000 hospital beds, almost 5,000. There's 125 in use. In Ohio, 14,291 with 460 in use. In Texas, we're seeing things start to come down a little bit here, which is great to see. We're seeing some things starting to come down here, which is great. U.S. FDA announces emergency authorization for plasma treatment. 70,000 patients will be treated. The new CDC reports 94% of patients who died because of COVID had other health issues. I think this is really important. They had other health issues. Maurice at RPT Support. All right. How's it going? Love it. Okay, immune reaction to some common colds might provide protection against COVID-19. I went and got my flu shot, man. I think it's going to be one of the things we're going to want to have for this year. Lastly, immunity seen after mild COVID infection reported. So herd immunity, New York Times is reporting it's probably closer than we thought it was. So-called herd immunity is the point which the virus can no longer spread wildly because there's not enough vulnerable humans. Scientists have said it's perhaps about 70%, and right now they're saying we're about 43%, so we're getting closer to that herd immunity than we probably think that we are. Mr. Rogers, real estate is not for the weak of heart, but for the lion hearts. I love it. U.S. lifts advisory against all international travel, which is good. Early testing results from prospective novel coronavirus. Vaccination could be positive sign, Richard said. It's very good news. We've talked about this before. This is kind of like real estate investing. There's right now 170 pre-vaccinations. There are 10 that are in phase 1. There are 2 that are in phase 2. There are 3 that are in phase, or 7 that are in phase 3, and we're waiting for that one to get approved. They're working their way through here. Really interesting. This article shares 6 reasons for optimisms. Rapid testing through saliva is coming. I can't wait for that to be here. Kids are less susceptible to catching and spreading the virus than adults are. If you are living with somebody with COVID-19, you have a 5.2% risk of catching it if you're a kid. If you're between ages 20 and 50, you have a 14.8%. And while those over 60 have an 18.4%. And that's if you're living with somebody that actually has COVID. That's your chances statistically of getting it, transferring it. What does this all mean? COVID investing rules. You got to find a really good deal. You've got to stay under the FHA loan limits. You've got to try and be at the median. What is the FHA loan limits? That's the maximum that FHA will loan on a property with the very low down payment, typically 3.5%, and you get the seller to pay the closing costs. So that's what most buyers are going to want to be purchasing in these types of markets. You want to look at moving outside some of the expensive areas and find the worst home in the best area and make it the best. And on that resale, you've just got to be the best priced home in the best condition. Those houses always sell no matter the market. And right now they're having bidding wars on those properties. The key is to buy it right so you can afford to be the best priced in the best condition. In real estate, there is always money to be made in every niche. You just have to find the niche. Okay, guys, what other questions have you got? What have you got coming as we get into our big topic of the day, how to make lots of offers using little earnest money? I got to grab a drink, make some comments in here, and let's keep rolling. All right. I'm not seeing any new comments here. So okay, how to make lots of offers using little earnest money. What you're going to learn today is how to only put earnest money if your offer gets accepted. How to make offers on homes you haven't seen, how to make multiple offers at a time, how many offers you need to make to get an offer accepted. We kind of talked about that. There are going to be 2 parts of today's how to make offers with little to no earnest money and how it works, and how to make lots of offers. So how to make offers with little to no earnest money. Well, first off, what is earnest money? Earnest money is consideration. It's the money you put up to show the seller that you're serious about purchasing the property. This amount of money goes towards the purchase price. It applies to that, what you're buying the property for. Is earnest money refundable? It's based on conditions. When you write the offer, you have a few deadlines. You have your inspections deadline. You have your due diligence deadline. You have your appraisal deadline, and you have your loan denial deadline. So let's talk about each one of these. Your inspections deadline, when you make an offer, you have to typically only see the property once. You went to the property, you didn't go through everything and check every cabinet and door. You went through the property and looked at it, and maybe you didn't even go to the property. And so it's saying, hey, I need some time. I want to get some other people through there. I want to show my mom. I want to, whatever the case is, I want to do that. And so what that's called is an inspections period. This gives you a period of time where you can go back to the property with an inspector, a general contractor, or whoever you want to really understand the full scope, the full property itself, and any challenges that maybe exist in the property. And if you don't like what you see, you can remove yourself from the contract, or you can renegotiate, as long as you do it before that inspections deadline ends. And something people ask me quite frequently is, hey, with inspections, can I pull out for any reason? And the answer is yes. You can literally pull out for any reason during that inspections deadline, as long as you do it before the deadline. And that's really good because a lot of people are concerned, what if I make too many offers and they all get accepted? Which I'm going to talk about that a little bit later today. So due diligence deadline, this can be the same as the inspection. This allows you to do any other due diligence you want to do on the property. You can pull out, get out of the contract for any reason, even if you change your mind or you don't think it's a good investment anymore. So it simply could be, hey, I ran the numbers again and this doesn't look good. Great, I'm going to remove myself from the contract. I'm going to get my earnest money back as long as I get it prior to the due diligence or the inspections deadline. And the buyer can pull out, but the seller cannot. That's the thing, as a buyer, you're locking up the contract, but the seller cannot remove themselves from the contract. The buyer can, based upon these contingencies that we're talking about right now. The appraisal deadline, this is to make sure the property is worth what you are paying for it. If the values do not come in, you can remove yourself from the contract. And again, this is a deadline. If the values just don't come in, you can remove yourself from the contract. Okay, loan denial deadline. If you don't get the loan you want at the interest rate you want, you do not have to purchase that home, and you'll get your earnest money back as long as you do that prior to the deadline. Now, keep in mind, as long as you remove yourself from the contract prior to that, you get your earnest money back, and those deadlines are typically 6 p.m. On most contracts, and you'll get your earnest money back as long as you don't go over those deadlines. Okay, put the earnest money in escrow. This is a big tip. I put the earnest money in my title company, or you can put it with your closing attorney. What you don't want to do is give the money to the seller. This makes it even safer. Do not get the money to the seller. They may not give it back to you, even if you're within your rights to get the money. So the last thing you want to do is give the money to the seller, and then the seller be upset that you didn't close on it, even though you're within your rights to remove yourself from the contract, and then the seller doesn't give you the earnest money, and then you go fight them, even though it's your money that you're entitled to. So that kind of brings us into how much earnest money do you need? Okay, how much earnest money do you need? And it really depends on the type of property you're wanting to purchase. So there's kind of two types. There's on-market and off-market. Let's talk about the difference. On-market property is a property that's actually listed on the multiple listing services. There's a buyer's agent, there's a seller's agent. That's the type of thing. There's lots of exposure and marketing to this property, okay? So with this, it's not uncommon for people to say $500 to $1,000 earnest money, right? Pretty typical right now is probably closer to $1,000. It's going to depend on your market. It's going to depend on the price of the house, a few considerations, but that's what people are generally looking for. We don't recommend you go after on-market properties, okay? If you're going after these on-market properties, you are going to be competing with everybody else. Remember, they're getting lots of exposure. These types of properties are going to be going fast. They're going to sell for higher prices. So we really recommend what are called off-market properties. And off-market properties are properties that are not listed on the multiple listing services. And these types of properties, I typically put $25 to $50 earnest money down. See, they don't have agents saying you got to put all this money down. They don't have competitive offers and those types of things. So you can usually get away with very little earnest money. And there's no law that says there has to be any earnest money amount. Again, it's telling the seller that you're serious about the property. Off-market sellers are not as concerned about this because they're not on the market with multiple offers. They're not fighting and competing. They don't have an agent fighting to get them more earnest money. So earnest money can also be in other forms, although I don't recommend it. Earnest money is simply consideration. It can be in other forms, but it's not recommended. So here's what was happening. When I first started my career, I was trying to make lots of offers, but I put $500 earnest money down every single time. So I was limited because I didn't have all kinds of money in the world, so I was limited. So if I had $2,500, I could only make 5 offers, right? And so that would be a problem. And knowing that it could take 20 or 25 offers to get a property under contract, I'm like, this is going to take forever before I actually am able to get a property. So I came up with a little concept that now has been adopted by some of the boards on the forms that are used commonly. So I made one check to my title company for $500, okay? Then I put in contracts. And in my contract, I said, I will deposit money 3 days after the acceptance of my offer. So rather than making me putting earnest money down every single time I made an offer, I said, I'll put my earnest money down 3 days after the seller accepts my offer. That's when I will put my earnest money down. And I'm going to do that 3 business days. Now I can make 100 offers and not have to worry about coming up with $500 or $50 on every single one of those offers. I can say, I'll put my earnest money up 3 business days after the seller accepts my offer. That's when I'll put my earnest money up. And therefore, I can go make 100 offers if I want to. I don't have to worry about putting up earnest money until the seller actually accepts my offer. And if the seller accepts my offer, I'm going to be happy to put up my earnest money. This way, I could use the same $500 on every single offer. I can make 100 offers with the same $500. I just have to come up with $500 for every single offer that actually gets accepted. So what if I got too many offers accepted and I didn't have the $500 for each one of those offers? Well, I could find the money. I could use a retirement account. I could use a cash advance on a credit card. I could use friends. I could use family. I could wholesale the deal to somebody else prior to the 3 days when my earnest money's actually due. And lastly, I could just cancel the contract prior to the 3 days, okay? Again, the earnest money is to be deposited 3 business days after acceptance if you write your contract appropriately. And the cool thing about being the buyer is you get to write the contract and write that proposal. So don't let earnest money stop you from making offers on properties. Go and make lots of offers. In fact, we're having an offer competition. Stay tuned till the end and you'll learn a little bit more about that. Okay, now for the second part of this, how to make lots of offers. This is a strategy to make lots of offers. The most time consuming is seeing the property. When you make an offer without seeing the property, it can save you a ton of time. So how do you do this? Well, number one, you use the pictures of the property if there are any, and if not, you can just determine what is an average house cost to remodel with these square footages. Then you can use a counter offer gets accepted. That's when you go look at the property. So basically, hey, I go make an offer on the property. I know, hey, an average property in this area is going to cost me $50,000 to remodel. If I get a counter offer back from the seller based on price, then I can go back to I can go to the property for the first time. I can then pencil this up, and then I can make a counter offer back to the seller of that property. So I can save myself the time of having to go see the property. So then you're seeing homes that have a higher chance of that really being a deal rather than going and seeing every single home. So the other thing that can make this really helpful is short purchase contracts, meaning if you have a form that with everything, a super short form, like a 1-page form. So all you have to do is change the address and the price. Everything's completed. If you put 3 business days after acceptance for your earnest money and 15 business days after acceptance for a purchase, then you have to go and change the actual dates because it says business days after acceptance. And then all you got to do is the address and the price. So this is going to save you a ton of time. This is a ninja trick that can save you in more ways than one because holidays and time frames and those types of things can run into problems for you if you are not using business days when you're making it. Now, here's another strategy that can work really well is you actually just send offers in the mail. With each mailer, you actually give them an offer. You can do an estimate. You can just do the ARV times 70% minus an average cost of rehab. You can just say, hey, if the property's worth $100,000, I'm going to offer 70 minus rehab. If rehab in that area is $30,000, I'm going to offer them $40,000. And in all my mailers I'm going to send out, I'm just going to say, I'll give you $40,000 for this property and then see what people say. You've got to send a lot of mailers out to get people that are going to be interested. But some people will accept that. And at that point, you can actually go and take a look at the property. And that will save you a ton of time. With these strategies, you don't need a bunch of earnest money to make the offers. You can use the same initial earnest money with each and every offer until one gets accepted. You can make lots of offers and only see the homes that give you the counter offer or ones you actually get accepted. And you can renegotiate or remove yourself from the contract if it's not a profitable deal, as long as you do it prior to the time those deadlines come. And that way you can get your earnest money back. That's what it's all about here. Okay, we got a ton of comments. This is just opening up for comments, and I'm loving it. Okay, real estate is not for, okay, we talked about that. I never do a deal without a due diligence clause. Totally, Mr. Rogers. You've got to have your due diligence or your inspections deadlines. And Mr. Rogers, listen to Ryan. He don't just talk it, he's done it. Yes, it is true. I appreciate it. Okay, Tana, I guess you haven't been making very many I'm assuming offers in San Francisco, California. Have you so-called proof of funds, capital of the world? Yeah, I don't make make any offers in San Francisco, California. And so, I mean, I know investors that are investing in San Francisco. It's a really expensive market, and there's some things you've got to do differently to do that. It's really high end. And I would look at some out-of-state properties personally. But if you want to be investing there, there's some strategies on those higher-end properties. Off-market properties are the best. Mr. Rogers, totally agree. And one of the things, one of our softwares, our deal-finding software, actually goes after off-market properties, which I can show you a few things. Tana, and also here in San Francisco, a lot of folks won't even accept contracts or offers with contingencies. Tana, give me some clarification on this. I'm going to assume those are on-market properties listed on the MLS, not off-market properties. I'm going to assume that. But, okay, hang on. Before we do this, let me show you. Okay, you've got me all wondering about this. San Francisco. Why isn't this doing? San Francisco, California. Oops. Why is that having an error here? Okay. Let's just take a quick look-ski. I don't know why it's saying that twice. San Fran. Huh. It's being weird. Let me just do let's just do a zip code. So zip code San Francisco, California. Let's just take 94110 for instance. Let's just get deep. 94110. Let's just take a look here. Property located can't be found. Okay, got it. So in this zip code, okay, right now there's 7,149 properties that are vacant properties that are single family, that are not listed, that have $50,000 more of equity, just in this one little zip code. Okay, there's one out-of-state owner, there's 16 non-owner occupied, and so I've got a whole bunch of properties here that I can actually go and do something with. Some of these vacant properties may be the most interesting, where I can actually go and look at some of these specific vacant properties, and then I can make offers on these properties. This is some of the off-market properties that you can be looking at. So I think it's really interesting. The other one that we get asked about, let's just take like Los Angeles real quick. Los Angeles, California. Let's just take a look at that. I didn't even know there's a Los Angeles, Texas. Did you guys? Okay, so Los Angeles, California. I mean, this obviously is going to have a lot better numbers, but there's 7,149 that are vacant. You've got 532 bankruptcies, 494 out-of-state owners, 9,229 pre-foreclosures, failed listings. So you can just come in here, pre-foreclosures. There's 229 pre-foreclosures. Now, this isn't just the pre-foreclosures. These are single-family houses that are not listed, that have $50,000 more of equity in the property, and you've got the list here so you can actually go and do marketing to them. So lots of cool stuff that can be done. Okay, Tana, I hope that helps. Off-market deals aren't that easy to come by. Ryan, you're absolutely right. That's why you've got to do marketing, use a system, use a software that can help you. If anybody's interested, if you're not a member, go over to dohardmoney.com/get started, and you can get dozens of hours of training. You can use our deal finding softwares and access to our 100% financing loans. That could be helpful to you, Ryan. Mr. Rogers, do your due diligence clause and or financing contingencies clauses are typically standard. Yeah, I write them in my contracts, but when you're dealing with an off-market property, it's so much easier. But if it's an on-market property, those are standard in most board contracts. You have to know where to look. I totally agree, Mr. Rogers. Andrew, super solid advice. Wow, so helpful. Appreciate that, Andrew. Thanks for being with us. Let's see. Maurice, RPM, support driving for dollars will get you good off-market deals. Yeah, and one of the cool things with our software, you can actually just put the actual property address in here, and it'll tell you all the information. Then you can do a skip trace on that specific property as well. So that works out really well. Okay, Ryan is giving great advice and guidance. Thanks, Mr. Rogers. Appreciate it. Okay, the moment you all have been waiting for, our offer contest. So next month, for our members, October 1st to October 31st, if you make 10 offers in the month of October, you're going to get a cool I Buy Houses mask, which is awesome because you can take it around and generate some business on that. And if you make 15 offers, you'll get one of these killer I Flippin' Did It Do Hard Money offer contest shirts. We're going to be doing that next month. So go to dohardmoney.com/offer-contest to sign up for that. Mr. Rogers, make sure you sign up for that, man. Okay, Tana, it's both, believe me, and they do not like contingencies of any kind. Tana, it's both. Tana, you're talking about off-market properties and off-market properties on both of those. Is that what you're saying? You're having problems with off-market and off-market, wanting to have any contingencies. If that's the case, I would just limit the contingencies and try and tighten those deadlines. And so trying to say, hey, I need to get my contractor through here, but can we do that faster? But most of the off markets are a lot easier to deal with contingencies. But there's no question, we talked about it right now, there's a lot of demand. So it's something that is going to be something you're going to have to face with, especially in that market. You're not going to like what I say, but I would say move. That's one of the problems you're always dealing with in California. So something to think about, or just buy out-of-state properties, but something to think about. Okay, we've got our offer contest, so go ahead and to do that. But if you've enjoyed this, please subscribe. Give it a thumbs up. Ryan, I think, is one of our newest subscribers. Thank you. Give it a thumbs up. The recorded video, make sure you give us a thumbs up on that. And please, please, please leave a comment. That will be really helpful for us. This will go live in a few hours or by tomorrow. Go back and take a look at it and leave us a great comment. It would be helpful. And again, join that offers contest. What you missed last week, we talked about buying houses with code violations. If you missed it, you can go to YouTube, type in Do Hard Money, and look for the buying houses with code violations. We talked about what code violations are, how they can kill your profit, how you can use them to actually find deals, working with general contractors. Okay, future live casts that you want to see. These are different topics. So tell us what you want: wholetailing, determining repair costs, coronavirus investing, wholesaling remotely, choosing good contractors, virtual wholesaling, finding cash buyers, seller financing, contractor bids, determining rental price, preparing for cash flow, business partner deep dives, reverse wholesaling, finding cash buyer deep dive, seller financing at the kitchen table, income properties, sales skills, closing a deal, all the players, auction properties, subject to deals, determine a repair amount, buying properties remote, making offers without seeing properties, or anything else. What would you like to see on our next live cast or our upcoming live cast? Please type it in the comments here. Type it into the comments that you have, and it'll be helpful for us. Tana says, would you mind sending me that list? I'd be very interested to receive it, to be sure. I'm not sure which list you're talking about there, Tana. Are you talking about the property list? Or are you talking about this list here? The property list is something you've got to have the software to actually get to have access to manipulate those. This list, you can watch this video, or you can pause, or whatever the case is, and take a look. I hope that's helpful for you. If not, let me know. If you're enjoying this podcast, if you like what you've heard today, please join us for the Income Hacker podcast. Check it out on iTunes or Stitcher or Spotify, wherever you listen to podcasts. Type in Income Hacker and you will find us as well. Okay, Sean Ritchie won last week's Swag of the Week. Okay, so he did the best comments, the interaction. So we're going to give away our giveaway for this week's. And before we do that, okay, Maurice wants to know making offers without seeing the property. Fantastic, Maurice. We'll add that to the list. Anthony, contractor bids, please. I got great stuff on contractor bids. We've got a cool format, a template. It works great. We have lots of contractors who work with us. One of our members actually get access to our project managers. It makes a world of difference. Okay, so let's talk about who is going to be our winner for this week. Our winner for this week is, drum roll please, Sean Kelly. Sean, you're getting all this sent to you. You're getting the hats and everything else. This whole big packet of everything we've been talking about earlier today is coming your way. So, Sean, this is what I need you to do is email us at support@dohardmoney.com. Subject swag winner. Give us your screen name if it's something, your mailing address, your cell phone number, and we will send this free swag out to you. And if you were last week's winner, make sure you email us the same thing. Anthony, I love Income Hacker. I listen to it on my iPhone. Anthony, fantastic. I'm glad you're liking the Income Hacker podcast. I hope it's been great value to you. If you haven't yet, leave a review on the Income Hacker podcast. That's really helpful. If you want to win some swag, if you want to get some swag or earn some swag today, just email support@dohardmoney and put earn free swag. And we'll give you some things you can help us out where you will actually send you a swag box as well. If you haven't yet, get signed up for our offer contest October 1st through the 31st. Go to dohardmoney.com/offer-contest. We want to get you in on that. And don't forget, next Tuesday, 6 p.m., same time, same place, and type in the topics that you want for next week's podcast or future podcasts that we're working on. Do I have more questions, guys? If you don't have any more questions, we're going to go ahead and wrap up for today. What questions do you have for me? Make sure, congrats to Sean. Absolutely, Sean. We'll be sending your way. Sean, are you with us today? If so, put it in the comments. Let us know that you are here. Appreciate you being with us. Okay, guys, well, it looks like we're going to wrap things up here. Thank you so much for being with me. We'll see you same time, same place next week. Please take advantage of this offer contest, dohardmoney.com/offer-contest. Appreciate all of you. Look forward to seeing you next week, same time, same place. Make it a very profitable day.